Hi Divine Rebels, Bohemian with Bohemian Stars and Ocean Heart Readings, and today under the Aquarius moon, hey, we are getting into advice for how you can deal with living in the matrix, okay? Coming out of the matrix, all that good stuff, being aware of it, all that kind of energy. So the matrix is, a simplified non-movie exact version. It's basically like this realm, right? Everything is fluid, right? I'm a Pisces. So Pisces Aquarian energy understands that what people see as reality is not reality. It's only reality as long as we all choose to co-create it that way, or allow other people to force us to see it that way and create those systems and existences for us. And that even goes for otherworldly realms, right? Afterlife matrices. Ooh, yeah, there's something other people don't be talking about sometimes. But, afterworlds, afterlife realms, all this kind of stuff, right? So this is about bringing ourselves to awareness so that we can become co-creators and decide what we want for ourselves, for the realms that we are joining into, co-creating for our lives, all of that kind of energy. Okay, so this reading is a mix of all of that. It's kind of like, on a Wednesday, on the hump day, when you're like having a breakdown. It is Wednesday right now. I was trying to film this Tuesday. Yeah, it's Wednesday now, but it's Aquarian moon still. We had Aquarius moon square Uranus and Taurus. Okay, so Uranus, it rules Aquarius, so just wonky energy, yeah, tearing up the veil, the systems in this realm. That was my Mars and Aquarius puppy being wacky on camera. A little husky puppy. Yes, so this is like that energy, like when you're on a Wednesday and you need a re-up and you need someone to be like, okay, give you the rundown for what's happened at work when you work in the call center, and be like, yes, that world is not real. The whole real world isn't like that, even though that's the so-called real world that you're dealing with. And like, you need that advice, you need that pep talk, you need to be like, have your spirit put back in your body a little bit and remind you what you're really here for on a spiritual level, on a controlled mind controlled level. So everyone will come to this reading at different places. Some people will feel like they're really working outside the matrix and they just want maybe they need some advice for when they come back in contact with it, right? When they come back in contact with the real world, because some people be living by themselves and able to detach and do whatever. 2:22 a.m. right now. Others will be feeling like they need advice kind of getting away from all of that and separating themselves from the whole rat race. So however, I don't know how these cards, I didn't peek yet, however it comes out for you, this is the whole idea, the energetic idea. It's all those loops and nets and however you plug into it. Okay, we'll see how you can unplug. We'll be using the dice. So this black dice right here, 8-sided dice, will be used for all of them, and then you each have a green dice on top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The green dice have the number on it on the top of them, so you can go ahead and choose a pile by number or by which pile you're just drawn to. And with Aquarian energy, I was just very drawn to green and purple stones. So we have a lot of amethyst and peridot and little alien stones and stuff. I should have put the moldavite up here, hello, but it would have been too small to see. It's a little tiny one. So yeah, that's what we're doing over here. So go ahead and choose your option. We're going to go ahead and get into it, and I'll meet you on your timestamp. And shout out to all the new Divine Rebels, Divine Rebel Young Bloods, all the returning Divine Rebels, those who are coming through to see what it do. Subscribe if you like the vibe, and if you also bring good vibes, okay, to us and our lives. Yes, so here we go, y'all. Let me pull these over here. Pull these over here. And oh, check out the song Matrix by A Child, because that's what I'm hearing, and I would like loop it quietly in the back if I wouldn't get demonetized. But it's like going through the matrix. I can't sing it, y'all, because they catch it for that too. Like, we can't even karaoke the songs. Goodness, matrix indeed. But also, pay artists their coin, so that too. Okay. Shout out to everyone who watches the video through, real ones. Hey, a lot of good stuff be coming up soon. All right, for those of you that chose number 1, advice for dealing with the matrix. Okay, we have the Two of Pentacles reverse, which is Jupiter and Capricorn and intersection, okay, because this is a woke deck. We have the Hand of Fate, forces beyond your control intervene. We have Golden Crown, Mama Blade, which is the Queen of Swords. Sorry. Ace of Blades, which is the Ace of Swords reversed. Trying to think how I'm going to put this, y'all. All right, you're the first one, so we get experimentation. I think I'm going to do it like this so I can throw all your tarots down here. So all of these decks are a little bit deep, like this Dust of Onyx is deep in the ethers. We have the cosmic reading cards, the fortune cards, and then we have like these decolonized kind of, you know, outside the matrix decks with the Next World Tarot, and we have the New Moon Tarot, which is about like it's like dystopian stuff. Okay, Ten of Swords, they'll be listed down below. Wheel of Fortune, a lot of 10s. So some of you, the number 10 might be significant for you. 16 or 14 could be significant for you, or the number 2. We have the Ace of Pentacles reverse and the Ace of Wands. Okay, you got 3 of the aces. The only one you didn't get is the Ace of Cups. So how can you get some advice for dealing with this matrix? Let's see. I'm going through the matrix. All right, for you guys, it's a lot about using your resources accurately, because some of you have been chasing fortune. You've been chasing what you're supposed to do. We have Jupiter and Capricorn. Capricorn, of course, is the capitalist, but here you could be missing out on supporting people that they might be different from you, but it's like it's a different part of the same struggle, okay? Because we have intersection here. So here we have a black woman and an Asian man, and they have a flower here, and they're trying to understand each other in the ways that they relate, even though there's differences, there's similarities, right? Both are would be considered minorities, right? So there's different ways that we can have similar struggles, and finding those commonalities and not overlooking those struggles could be a big part of how you can unplug from the system. Ten of Swords, because it's almost like if you're racing and you're running away from like zombies, and you just like, oh, you're slower, so you push someone behind you, but then at the end of the day you end up alone and no one's there to help you fight off all these zombies. Versus if you guys had all kind of like held hands and ran and helped each other out a little bit, you would have a whole army to turn around and fight the zombies. So the idea for you is not to isolate, not to feel like you know, you have it worse. It's called our elders will call it oppression wars. Like, yes, definitely we can go down and see who is the most oppressed of everything. We need to have each other's back and all of that, but it's like we need to join together against the system, right? Not like, oh, sucks for you that you're over there, you know, having to protest because migrant children are in cages, but I have my own struggle, so I'm going to ignore that issue, right? This is like, no, we all need to care about global warming, or, you know, we all need to care about when each other are not being treated right, because when that group is done being mistreated, guess who they're coming for next? All right, it's like kind of like laughing at your siblings when they're in trouble, but your parents real mad and everybody gonna get beat. Like, I do not condone that, but you know, I was just, some of us were raised that way, okay? No, I don't condone that or raised that way. So that's kind of the advice, is to stop either ignoring or being detached, or being having this like apathy, or what's the word, indifference for other people's struggle, because that fortune of yours ends up not lasting, and you end up in that same struggle yourself, okay? And some of you know that, and you're like, I know, but I just don't know how to make a difference. So instead I go into this indifference, and I know that I have more in me than that. I know that I can, you know, do better, be more valiant, be more help than that, than to always end up just feeling detached, feeling icy, feeling, you know, like, oh well, I don't care, you know, sucks for y'all, because I can't deal with it, right? I can't deal with processing all of this. So you do have this energy of big energy, basically, and like luck that comes in. We have the Hand of Fate and this Wheel of Fate. So it's almost like in your life, two aspects kind of push and pull. I wonder if your Jupiter in your chart has like squares, or it has difficulties to it that make it seem, or maybe it's conjunct Saturn, that would do it, because squares don't really scare Jupiter. There could be like a Saturn conjunct your Jupiter, maybe right now that's going on. Saturn in Sagittarius generation might be having some conjunction with Jupiter and Sagittarius, and so you feel as though there's like this limited energy in your chart, in your life, that plays out like you're never going to be able to get yours unless you just say screw it and go with the negative side of Saturn, which again is like Jupiter and Capricorn. Oh duh, Jupiter and Capricorn, so we all have that, which is like sacrifice, screw everyone else. If they can't feed themselves, that's their problem. You know, all of this very limited energy because of wanting, some of you, it's like straight up, you want some fame, you want some glory, you want to get what you can get while you're in the matrix. And it's saying, okay, tune that down. It's not that you can't be a leader, but why would anyone follow you if all you're going to do is take up all the available resources and be like, well, let you eat cake, even if it's mud pie. Like, why though? So there's a bitterness here that's not going to serve you in this, like this bitter, like survivalist mode that's there. This punish everybody because you have knowledge of, you know, the tough world, or, you know, that kind of energy is saying like, look, boo boo, that's not doing it for you. It's not working. All right, it's not working. If you want the look, it's like you do that and then you charge ahead and then you're upset because the crew don't have your back, like nobody's there at the end of the day. And then you feel, look, there's the Aquarius energy, and you're like, well, I have all this knowledge, I have all this wisdom, you know, why people, I'm smarter than everyone else around, that must be why. But sometimes it's just because you never extended a hand to show you care. As long as you have some knowledge, or as long as you're getting some benefit, then you feel like, oh well, right? Because we have the Ace of Pentacles reversed and the Ace of Swords reversed. It's kind of like that Four of Pentacles energy. It could be a little bit of cruelty in the pursuit of knowledge and wisdom, and hoarding up that wisdom for yourself. Or if people don't do their enlightenment exactly like how you decree and do it, I don't care about them. Or, oh, I'm so busy getting enlightened that I'm not going to pay attention to the real world because, oh well. Or I'm so enlightened that I can excuse myself trampling over other people and taking all the resources, okay? So that's going to resonate in different degrees. And a good thing when you're watching a reading is just tune into that spectrum of energy, okay? For instance, like let's say this message, the intensity of it was a bright red, okay? You might be at a soft little rosy red of that energy and need to check in with yourself. It doesn't mean that you're the blood crimson red of that message, okay? But somebody else is going to be like, damn, I'm that blood crimson of that message, right? It's blood on my hands right there. Shoot, you got me. So that's a good wisdom to have when you're doing the readings, because some people get mad and they're like, it's not me. I'm like, if you came to this reading in some degree, it's a reminder, a check-in point for you in some way, okay? All right, so yeah, so this anger, this frustration, it's like utilize it in the right directions. Utilize it in the right direction. So it's kind of like if you're mad how the kingdom's going, but you're kind of kissing ass with the king, or pretending that you don't like the king as you try to become a king in the same way and get the same kind of riches. Meanwhile, you're being mean to all the people of the land, but you hate kings who be mean to all the people of the land. You know what I mean? So it's like really look at your programming, you know, how you make your moves, what your motives are. You might be feeling like, well, this is just the way it is. It's just the way it is. And it's like, no, you got some ways to really help bring an end to a way certain things are. You can change up your life differently than you think you can. You have a lot of aces, but you're missing that Ace of Cups, that heart, that soul, that feeling. Your intuition could even be off, and you're not seeing that at times. All right, you pick the 1 dice, okay? You might have a 1 soul path or a 1 or a 10 in your birth energy, but you could, or Aries, a lot of Aries North Node, first house North Node, but you could be thinking too much about self and self-escaping and self moving ahead no matter what you say, because you do have that, you know, you tell yourself it's about others. It could be Sagittarius and Leos here as well, also Gemini, Aquarius, Libras, okay? So that's the message coming through is some of you could be good leaders and things, okay? But it's like the leader of what? Right? The leader of what? Where's the heart? Where's the heart of the movement? Where's the people? It can't just be blank faces of masses acknowledging you for gifts and changing, you know, escaping the system and everything. Like, are you just going to escape it and sit in the black ethers alone? Are you just going to escape this matrix and make another cruel matrix of yourself, escape, you know, the system of your life and build your own life and career, but then repeat those cruelties and not take time to decompress? Some of you, it's just that you haven't taken the time to process your traumas. You haven't taken the time to really go in and say, shit, like, man, I need to rethink how I use my money. I need to rethink how I do my business. I get that a lot because I have people who get mad about how I do my business in certain ways, and they'll be trying to come at me like in this very negative capitalist kind of way, and I'm like, no, like, you're not about to run me into the ground and make these demands or tell me I need to do things that are, you know, use systems that are quicker but that are hurting people. And you know, it's a process, and I feel like for some of you too, that's the key. The advice is let yourself have the ups and downs, right? Some of you, it's like, instead of that open palm, that's your advice, have the open palm and not the tight fist, because as the proverb goes, tight fist you can't put anything into. All right, you can't reach for help, you can't give help, you can't do any of that. You can't grab these aces if it's a tight fist. And I think some of you, it's like you want to go into this new phase, you want to use the wisdom that you have, you want to become more wise, like not just have knowledge but have wisdom. That's the thing, I've been using the wrong word. This is knowledge, and what your spirit is wanting, I think, is more wisdom, right? Wisdom is when we know how to apply it. Wisdom is when we pass it on to others, and wisdom is when we learn to find the healing balm within all that, like, fear and frustration and anger that knowledge can bring. Okay, and so that's what you're working towards. You know, it's like, you know, channel ahead. And yes, sometimes there will be times to, you know, have a sharp wit or cut people off or use this fiery passion that you have. But it's kind of like, what are you planting and seeding? If you're jumping out of this, what world are you going into? Be patient with yourself as you're cycling through this, because I don't think some of you have created safe space for yourself to, like, not be perfect, not be in utter control, all that kind of energy, and it's limiting your connections to others. It's limiting your co-creation with the universe and with other people. Okay, so just be aware of those things. Let's take a roll of the dice here. Yeah, 6 and 4. The stability that you seek comes from partnerships and connecting with other people. The number 46 or 64 could be significant for you. We also have the 10 and the 1 again. Yeah, so it could be time, y'all. Aquarius, as much as it rules this individual energy and becoming, you know, woke and having existential crisis and all of this, it also rules community and the greater good and friends. All right, so some of you, it's just time to unplug from the stereotypes of what relationships and power look like in the matrix, in the so-called real world, and what leadership supposedly looks like, and tune in and plug in a personal way. One thing that I like in certain in indigenous tribes, what goes on is, instead of just accepting any power, it's like, you're a good leader until you prove to us you're not a good leader anymore. Like, you know, when there's a cause that we need to solve, it's like, oh wow, this person, we have respect for them, they have the skills and talents for this, we trust them, we trust their energy. And then once you reveal that you don't deserve that anymore, then, or that someone else is just better for a particular job, then they're the person that is now I don't know why I'm hearing anointed, because it wasn't really anointed, but they're the person that is now the lead on that. You know what I mean? It was a more fluid thing, and I think a lot more community existences were more fluid than the limited European models that we want to put on, you know, socialism, capitalism, democracy, all of this. Things can be fluid. There's times when we're meant to be the leaders. There's times when we're not. There's times we're meant to be hands-on and give out. There's times we're meant to receive. And I think just that whole concept, that whole foundation, yeah, some of you, it's like the whole, like, just being plugged in a negative way to politics without actually doing the real life work and pretending, oh, voting's gonna change it, whatever it is. Just that cerebral, this is why I don't have to care because this limited ideal or fighting this ideal is enough, or it's too tough, so I'm gonna ignore life in general. that's the thing to get over. But it's saying connectedness and community, like a continuous co-creation with people, all those alliterations, for like Papa, yeah, you know, he laughs. Maybe y'all are trying to find your spinach, okay, and strengthen yourself. But for real, because we have the 4 here, is going to help you get more stability, a solid foundation. Yes, in a practical way, even in this realm, it's going to help you have some boots on the ground. It's going to help you have the resources that you need and actually be a strong, stable presence. 4 is the Emperor, okay, a strong, stable presence to those around you without feeling like you're overpowering, dominating, or going without having strength yourself. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing for you, number ones. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment, and I'll talk to you again on another one. All right. All right, for those of you that chose number 2, okay, we have the number 2, the number 12, that could be significant, 17 as well. You have the star, which is Aquarius, Uranus energy, perfect for this. Well, look at there, we have the 12, the hangman, or it's just called hanged in this deck. We have the page of cups, we have the hermit, winds of change. So you could definitely be some air signs in here. 17 again, integrity reversed. We have the 10 of gourds reversed and the 6 of gourds reversed. Okay, so there's a lot of water air signs. You could be water air dominant. We have Pisces, Virgo, Scorpio, Cancer, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Okay, so what's going on in your world? How your advice to unplug? You guys definitely need to unplug from all this matrix energy here with the hanged, and I think that you're trying to. I love like these like dreads that they have on here, filled with dread. Yes, it's like, you know what it's like, and this is what I'm getting. This is very like old school, you know, Wu-Tang feel that I'm getting, but it's like going from being in dread to be the dreaded one, like, you know, not letting people get you shook, all right, but being the one that can shake the world. We are the magic makers. We are the dreamers of dreams, okay, the movers and shakers of the world forever, it seems. Okay, learning how, and I'm getting that, putting away childish things when it's time to grow up and look at things as they really are, because some of you are like, oh well, you know, peace and harmony, la 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 la. Okay, valid. I'm a Pisces with Aquarius in my chart, but we have to also look at reality, and if reality isn't matching it, then we're the ones who need to augment the reality so that we can get there, because we have Page of Cups reversed, the Hangman, 6 of Cups reversed, and 10 of Cups. So that's the vibe, because look at all of us are pouring into this big vortex of all that is, and that's co-creating what those before, the different ancestors of ours and others, left there. But we have the winds of change. Okay, your surroundings will undergo a transition. It is time for us to be that generation, right? Many of us are out here 7th generation. It's time for us to think 7 generations ahead. How are we leaving the world? What are we creating here while we're here? So you guys, think of yourselves as the ones who it's almost like when you look around and you're putting your thoughts into the world, see like the sky moving and swirling, like you're painting, like you're putting out, the sound that you're creating is creating waves, like actually seeing that. I'm like this 3-dimensional artist, so it's easier, more than that, right? But a good example is, oh, what's her name? Girl from Juno, what's her name? She's in Inception. She's the one who is the creator of the dream. She's the architect of the dreams. Okay, that's the vibe of here, Aquarius and Pisces together, being the architect of the new shift, of the new vision that's going to be here. But if you're staying in the fantasies and too busy pretending that the real world doesn't exist, or that you can just go away from it and, you know, sit in some meditative state for your whole incarnation, it's kind of missing the point, right? You're meant to be here, and to, while sitting here in the barren earth, find all the different transformations that you can. How many butterflies can you create? How many transformations? And this isn't overly focusing on people. It's almost like focusing on the ingredients of the realm. How many positive changes can you go and do, right? So can you go and, okay, in this way I can help the whales, in this way I can help the trees, in this way I can help the children. How many different things can you touch and help recreate and rebirth and say, no, we don't accept a negative reality here. We're not accepting that karma from past generations. We're acknowledging what happened, because here there is some acknowledgement of the past that needs to happen. Some of you are coming from a path of privilege and need to have the integrity to, especially, look, we got the eagle there, which is sacred, but it's also was taken ironically for the symbol of the United States after a bunch of genocide. It's the idea here of writing the integrities that us personally and those before us did not have, and in doing so is the only way that we can truly create the worlds that we want. Okay, skipping off to 5D ain't gonna work if we ain't doing the stuff here. We have to have some integrity here. Yeah, so you could take time where it takes time to process and kind of check in with yourself and see what your gifts are. But it's like, if you're not coming back out and applying those gifts to the greater whole, then the matrix is winning, basically, cha-ching for them. So that's not what we want, of course. Okay, they said breathe, breathe more, breathe, literally here, like breathe. But literally it's like breathing in. When you breathe in, it's like we breathe in all the good nutrients we need, and people say breathe out the negative, but this is like, no, we need to be, you know, transmuting things, breathing out the positive. Okay, got to be like a tree over here again, strong for future generations. Like the energy for those of you that pick number 2, every single thing that y'all do is so important to be transmuting every negative thing, and it's not blindly. I can't stress that enough, because people be all up in that love and light and can be real shitty people. Like, this is about actually doing good. Like, what does the people that you're supposedly helping, what is good for them, right? For instance, it's not going to Uganda and stealing children and calling it adoption. Look at the news, y'all. I ain't even playing. We've been saying it. It's finally, they got the evidence. And then saying, oh, look, I'm so good, I gave you a good home, look at me, right? No, because look at that chain of events. Was that positive? Did that have integrity to it? So a good way to deal with this matrix is to not let it get to you. Don't let it tarnish the good that you do have by using like gaslighting, all right, fantasy, la-di-da. Spiritual bypassing could be big with this crew. Okay, because you can say, well, I can be so generous in certain ways every Christmas, every this and that I don't have to do these other things. So you can really delude yourself, okay, and be in these self-delusions, or be in that, well, I'm such a good person that I could never be the wrong one. I could never, like, it's just like that kind of fake shadow work that goes on, and y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all been in the spiritual community, tarot community, any of that. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. So this is checking you on it, all right? It's saying, all right, let's get real. We need to get some feet on the ground. We need to really do the work, because just acting like everything that happened before us on the world is fine doesn't solve anything. It doesn't solve the weather, okay? And you are being called to be more environmentally friendly and to be more proactive and speaking about climate change and what's going on with natural disasters, and being more helpful and resourceful in those situations. You're being called to look at family situations, because we have that here. And it's so funny, because this is like advice dealing with the matrix, which can be so frustrating. And a lot of the advice so far has been, will be proactive and change the matrix. Okay, instead of standing here tied up, use those skills. Why do you think y'all are incarnated? Okay, that's been the vibe over here. Yeah, so for families that have difficulties, children that are not helped, hashtag families belong together, check out the hashtags in the description box. That can definitely be it there. Okay, yeah, but it's like, you can't just hide in your little bubble with your doomsday resources and play romantic movies and pretend nothing else is going on in the rest of the world. You have to have some integrity, because otherwise it's already gotten to you. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a roll of the dice here. All right, we have 13, or the number 4 could be significant, or 31. Yeah, again, we have that idea of what you do contributes to others, right? Because I'm seeing the 2 on the side. So there goes other people enjoying their life. But when you put your energy and vibration, which you do, whether you think you're withholding it or not, you automatically change the reality in what they do. So your way of dealing with the matrix is to make sure you're not adding to the negativity of it, and that the vibration that you are adding, because regardless of what you think, you are adding to the climate of the world at the moment, the country, the city, the state, the group that you're in, the people that you're connecting to on social media. Like, your energy, you can't help it. You're not here as just like an invisible energy that's going to have no karmic exchanges with anybody, that's just going to, you know, again, soar above when we have the integrity reverse. That's not how it's going to work. All right, people are going to know your spirit. They're going to know, oh, okay, I remember trying to vibe with you, or I remember these vibes that came from you. So it's saying, just, you know, not in a like crazed religious way or a zealous way, but it's like, purify your vibe. Okay, what energy are you putting out on others, and what are you doing yourself? Because some people are good at pushing out, hey, you need to get woke, you need to get woke, and they're sitting here unwoke as a joke. Okay. But jokes can be woke, but you know what I mean. So yeah, watch that interaction. I think a lot of you have been more isolating and been like, well, other people bad vibes, other people bad vibes, well, their energy to me, they're ruining my fantasy, my manifestation, da, 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 da. But really it's like, okay, yes, that happens in the world, but it's more about actually the vibe you're putting out and creating right now, and what you're doing. That's the stronger thing. And if you're getting some pushback, you might be having some kind of reflections of your own internal issues that are not being worked on. So if you're feeling very tapped out and you're feeling like this matrix is what's doing it, it's what's killing my vibe, it could be because you're supposed to be a game changer over here and you're not, and as such, your lack of movements, all right, your lack of making moves is what is calling the downfall. I'm getting the imagery of baseball and somebody being like, okay, there's a heckler every time they try to bat at the, you know, at the diamond there, that somebody's coming down heckling them, trying to I'm seeing like purple nurple them, right? All of this kind of vibe. And so they're just like, damn, like getting so mad, like, oh, it makes me so angry, like, man, you're the reason I'm losing right now, you're the reason, right? But if they end up like never then going and trying to bat, and there's somebody who's like, you know, they're just one hit and done, right, instant home run, that they end up losing because of themselves, right? They can keep blaming and saying, well, you know, that person used to come and heckle me and everyone in the stands is against me, they think I'm never gonna make it, right? But if they just refuse to ever bat again, they're letting themselves and their team down. All right, they're never gonna move forward. It's not, they can sit there and yell at the crowd all damn day about how low vibrational the crowd is, but if they're not gonna bat, okay, homie, like you are too, like you're just heckling back all day long. And so that's the vibe. They're like, get in the game, okay? So you have no one to blame. You're here for such a time. A lot of you have universal signs in your chart, Sagittarius and Capricorn, Aquarius and Pisces, and you know, big placements and in those houses, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th houses. But if you came to this reading, you're meant to hear it. So let's get a healthy dose of reality. Use your wisdom and your spiritual gifts to actually make changes and focus more on the vibes that you're putting out into the world, okay? All right, that's what I see for you, number twos. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment, and I'll talk to you again on another one. All right, for those of you that chose number 3, ooh, it was at 33 minutes and 3 seconds of filming when I said that. All right, now you guys might be looking for an escape route, because this dice has like a little hole in the middle of the 3. You guys could be doing escapism through partnerships and trying to overly focus on relationships just as a way of distracting yourself. We have the 5 of Pentacles, turmoil, Mercury, and Taurus. So we could have some Aries, Gemini, or Taurus in this group. We have the unicorn reverse, good fortune and friendship. You could be having some friendship difficulties. We have the 4 of Wands, the 3 of Wands, or the 3 of Swords, the 2 of Wands, sorry, surrender reverse, 31. You guys might have picked 2 as well. We have the 2 of Gourds, and which is Cups, and the 9 of Cups. Okay, some of you are feeling big mad because you do that like aesthetic nicey nice stuff and it ain't working. Like it ain't doing you any type of good. Some of you are other tarot readers and you're like, okay, my lighting's correct and this and that. But it's like people need the soul of you. Like what's the actual soul? I see a lot of you doing a lot of things and like editing yourself down because you want to fit in. You want the party. You want everyone to like you, and it's not working. We're having 3 of Swords here. So it's like the 9 of Cups and the 4 of Wands is here, but then you still end up with 2 of Cups reversed and the 3 of Swords and friendship reversed, okay, and 5 of Pentacles. And so it makes you feel like, you know, this matrix stinks kind of vibe, scuffs you. So the energy here is that you don't take enough of your own free will, of your own originality with the 2 of Wands. You could spend so much time trying to like, well, I just heard copycat or mimic or imprint what other people think you should be. It's kind of like, okay, I'm different just like you, instead of just fully being in, like going with your spiritual flow and listening to what your spirit really wants to do and accomplish. Because if you do that, you end up tapping into new resources. You know what the energy and imagery, which just try to merge into a single word, that I'm getting is, let's say we're all out camping, right? Survival. And we say, okay, we need resources. Everyone break, run and get the resources you're supposed to get. And everybody runs to the same little water source, instead of like, let's say there's like 9 different big puddles where we need to get that water, but everyone runs to the same puddle because they want to be the same. Oh, well, this person's getting this water like this. I'm going to go over there and get some of that too. I'm going to get some of that too. And so it becomes about consuming and being seen and trying to get it like everybody else, instead of tapping into new resources that need to be brought to the collective. That don't make sense. All right, so pretty soon everybody's got this dirty ass water that's got sand and silt and shit in it because everyone tried to scoop too much, trying to mudsling on everybody else's face. You see where I'm going with this, right? Knee deep in the crap, up in the quicksand. Okay, y'all. Instead of going over to these other resources and tapping into that, which is also needed for the collective. Okay. And I'm just kidding. I could go so far with that metaphor, because I'm even saying like, you know, different water has different minerals. It has different things that we need. Okay. And so that is the vibe here. It's like y'all are losing that 2 of Cups. See, the pearl, losing that, you know, that good, pure quality about yourself by putting it before others who don't respect it and trying to hurry up and get that fast time, that good time. Well, I'm here for a good time, not a long time, but not thinking about the ramifications about that, not thinking about the medicine and energy you're putting out to other people. Some of you are chasing, you know, healers and wisdom and lifestyles that aren't giving you deep medicine either. Okay, you're just like, well, this looks fun, everybody's doing this. Oh, well, this doesn't make me have to change. It doesn't make me have to think. It doesn't make me have to, you know, feel negative. Ooh, I can feel special. Slap some glitter on it. It's basically right. Put a Lisa Frank sticker on it. Ooh, so happy. And yet it ends up making you just feel so devoid of joy and very heartbroken and very sad. And then you're not matching up with relationships that are actually healthy off of this advice or lifestyle. And you just end up feeling more and more like, look at this person trying to hide over here. Like they're over here trying to Google life because they can't even trust their own mind or intuition. And that's even reverse. Like they're the person like all to themselves on the back of the subway, like miserable, like just can't put their device down because they need something to tap into, and just like, you know, not able to surrender. All right. Not trusting that you can connect to something greater by yourself. And that is what's keeping a lot of the good vibes from you, good fortune and friendship, and keeping your actual unique qualities away. Now, some of you, this comes from, you know, having a lot of, it says turmoil. Okay. Mercury and Taurus. Taurus can take a long time to catch up to others. So some of you, I am getting that you're picking your teachers wrong. You're picking your readers, you're picking your healers incorrectly. And it's not giving you what you need to both thrive and to decolonize, unplug from the matrix, learn, grow in both ways, right? Because we need both of those, right? We need both hands to properly flourish in ourselves. Okay. Some of you, it's that you went through so many negative things that you don't want to see anything that's not like just literally unicorns, rainbows, butterflies out the wazoo, you know, party balloons and streamers. You just don't want to do that. And so it's like working on that rejection factor, because it's kind of like people can play you like a fiddle and get what they want from you just because of that terror of being rejected and that fear. It's like you're even afraid of the universe rejecting you. You're afraid of your higher self or your own divine spirits, who are always going to have your back, like in abundance. They're sitting here like, look, you need to plug into us and unplug from all that matrix. You know, people who, that's the Hierophant energy. The Hierophant is anybody, it doesn't matter if they're woo-woo or not, anybody who says, I'm the plug for the spirit world, and if you don't come through me, then you can't get it. And some of you are sitting there bowing to the Hierophants, right? But you're doing it in different ways, like in different disguises. Like maybe that Hierophant is a party or a drink or a drug or a tarot reading system that is meant to keep you stuck on somebody who's abusive, right? Or a bad friendship. But it's something that's making you bow down and say that your higher spirit isn't enough to trust to get you out of this place of scarcity and abuse. And what it's like is what I'm getting, like me, okay, y'all know, if you watch my channel, I came up hard knock, right? Childhood homelessness, a lot of hard, tough things. So what I learned is when I'm getting hard on myself, sometimes it's like, how dare I do that to that inner child? Like, I've been through a lot. Like, how dare I get down on myself? How dare I think less of myself? How dare I go back and give that child that went through all of that future of somebody who doesn't love themselves, take care of themselves? Like, no, I'm gonna love on myself, whether that's physically my body. Some of you, your physical body, you could be having different surgeries or pains or things, and so you're hard on your body. But the same, y'all know, I've had from a medical racism, horrible surgery. I've had some extensive things and concerns, but it's like, you know what, after all my body's put me through, like, how, or put me through, meaning propelled me through, how dare I disrespect? Like, I love my body even when it's not 100 where I want it to be, even if aesthetically we're having a little boo-boo, even if, you know, physically we're not feeling good. Like, I'm my own dang unicorn. Like, I wish I would disrespect myself that way. So it's like having to snap ourselves out of it. Spiritually, the same thing. After growing up super, you know, religious and being condemned, and after this world just breaking my spirit, and, you know, just how it does that to all of us quite often, making us feel like, you know, we're not wise enough, and, you know, we have to follow their system, and just, you know, how the world does our spirits sometimes, and or pretty much all the time systemically. Like, no way. After I've become woke to that, like, how dare I put my spirit back in the box? How dare I not trust myself and create and connect to the ancestors and the greater spirits of the universe that are so beautiful? Like, what? And so that's the vibe, is accepting your full self like that. And that is your key to dealing with the matrix, and it helps so much, is accepting that power. And it might not look like what the rest of the crowd is doing, okay? You might be a different kind of unicorn, and it might take letting go of some friendships and not just listening and plugging into what sounds good and it's gonna blow frosting up your ass, okay? But I don't know if I likes that. Moving on. But it's going to lead you to a pure place, and you're gonna feel so full that you're going to be astonished when you have enough in you, not through defense and I don't give a fuck what anyone says, but when you truly have enough self-love that you're like, no, like, I'm good. I'm doing what's right for my life. I'm learning how that I can, you know, what is it? When they cut the wires on the bombs, right? How I can kind of demine the area around myself so that this realm is better. How I can make my life more joyful by not ignoring but truly healing the woundedness that I've had and around me. How I can become a better friend and connect. Some of you, that's the thing, like, by learning how to be a healthier person in your relationships. That's a way of dealing with the matrix, okay? Think about it. Like, Katniss needed those people to be friends with. Like, every dystopian novel, they need some friends, right? They need some. It's only through that. It's only through togetherness that everything gets overcome. New world comes around. All of that. We can't sit here and be broken, leaving ourselves and children being hurt and stuff, okay? And so that's what I'm seeing. Let's go ahead and roll your dice. We have a 4 and a 5. Yeah, it's going to be communication, listening, freeing your mind. None but ourselves can free our mind. Redemption song, Bob Marley. We have Mercury and Taurus. You could be a little bit slower to coming around to it, but once you get it, you'll be able to stick with it, okay? You might fight the ideas of certain things, or use yourself, misuse yourself in a way where, well, I'm going to sit and pick at this one fact and let it be a brick wall in front of me because I don't understand how this woo-woo could be this, that kind of way. And okay, we're at 44 minutes and 14 seconds recording, and you have the number 4 here, so 4 and 4 of wands. 4s can definitely be big. It's 304. Yeah, so in order to chase stability that is lasting in a healthy way spiritually, and not just being run over in this matrix, you have to think outside the box. All right, think outside the reality that's there. Listen to new information. Literally think outside the box, because what is this realm doing? Just getting you packing up. Some of you haven't had stability. Some of you haven't had safety. Some of you have had neighborhoods gentrified. Like, you know that this stuff don't work. All right, works for a very, very select percentage of people, and then a bunch of people who think it works because they have to think that way because they feel it's too difficult to think of life in other terms, right? So it's about freeing your mind. All right, freeing your mind, and then having a true coming together and connectedness with others. Not this kind. This reminds me of, I had this family member who was helping out, and it was like a short period of time, but they basically were like, didn't want to help out anymore when I was having a kind of transitional period, because they had a Christmas party they wanted to throw at their house, and I was like, so I can't sit at a Christmas party? Like, they were Libra, so like that kind of just very vague, shallow stuff with people who aren't even your real friends, because obviously they can't be real friends if that's the criteria, right? Like, I feel like some of you have had that kind of facade, and it's like, okay, stop with the candlelight parties and the fake social justice outrage, and like just doing this thing on a shallow level because you think it gets you attention and celebration, and be a freaking real person, okay? And for those of you who you've been struggling keeping connections with people who are in those facades, and it's going to be a bit of both, that's what happens, it's all right, that's why we work on it. For those of you who've been struggling with people who are in those facades, it's saying it's all right to let them go. Surrender, just surrender and release that energy. Keep your unique mind, keep learning, keep growing. And I just feel like it's like spinning this, it's like a dreidel, just keep spinning, okay? Just keep spinning. You might feel like, but I don't know if I'm spiraling or if I'm spinning into enlightenment like a druzy dance. It's like the advice I'm hearing is just keep spinning, just keep moving forward, keep the wheels turning, keep learning as you go. That can be your sense of stability in the middle of it all, right? That can be your sense of stability, is keeping that willingness to learn and grow within the center of all that difficulty, and just keep recreating yourself, because obviously with this 3 of Swords, 5 of Pentacles, a lot of this old stuff ain't working. You gotta let this old shit shift, okay? And I will be doing my shit we need to shift series again, okay? So that's what I'm seeing for you. Number 3s, I feel like I could read these cards so deeply and just keep going in and in and in, but this is a long ass video already, so we're gonna leave it there for now. And let me know if you want me to revisit more matrix kind of, you know, decolonization, which of course I will do, decolonization videos of all different kinds. But you know, let me know how you like this. If you want this to be a particular series where we do different angles using the matrix kind of energy, let me know, okay? Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you again on another one. All right, for those of you that chose number 4, let's see, dealing with the matrix, we have the 5 of Swords reversed, Venus and Aquarius, and survival. We have the Satyr, revelry and indulgence. Compassion reversed, number 10. So I'm seeing 5, 10, and 15 could be significant numbers. We have the 3 of Cups reversed. We have Young Blade, which is Page of Swords reversed. We have the 2 of Cups reversed, the 4 of Pentacles upright, and Temperance reversed. So 14 could also be a significant number. All right, so what is your advice for dealing with the matrix? I'm seeing stop fighting what isn't stop fighting what doesn't work, but in the wrong places, in the wrong ways. Like some of you might be the type that you'll get drunk and debate like spirituality and who's more woke and who's more aware of social justice issues, but then you're not going to go out in the real world and do it. Like you're not going to implement that compassion. So it's like, okay, so you have a bumper sticker like, so you debate people, you know, on your closed Facebook, and that's it. Like, what do you really do though? We have Two of Cups reversed, Compassion reversed, Temperance reversed, Five of Swords reversed, with the Four of Pentacles. There are a lot of you, Page of Swords reversed. A lot of you can really just be about your own pleasure, your own overindulgence. There can be a hedonistic kind of quality with the Three of Cups and the Satyr here. There could even be some addictions, and some of you, because of your own rigidity that you need in order to keep yourself in check, you might put that energy onto the outer world as well, because you feel like you have to be so hard on yourself in order to be lovable, in order to survive, in order to get what it is that you need. You might feel like just more cruel to others, and you might not think that of yourself. You might feel like, well, no, because I mean, I'll reshare a sad story or this or that, but like, again, what will you really do? What would you actually really do that would disturb your little bubble? And you're like, well, what does this have to do with that matrix? Well, because it's part of the system. That's how the system wants it to work. It wants to keep everybody chasing just a little gold nugget, like a little, you know, snack in a rat race, in a rat lab, and not look. Oh my gosh, I didn't even see that. Look what she has right here. She even has this little microscope. I was like, does she have a rat? No, it's a root. She even has that little microscope. Okay, just like a little test lab rat. Okay, and not focus on the bigger picture, not focus, thinking that you are, but really not really tapped into what's going on around in a way that you're actually going to do something about it. And that is something where it's like, some of you could just be using escapism when it comes to, you know, drink, food, smoke, partying. You guys might have chosen number 3. I think we just had similar things, party themes. So it's not saying any of that's wrong, right? It's not wrong for the rat in the lab to want some cheese, but it's just like, if that's the only thing they're focused on is getting that little piece of cheddar, and then they're not focused on trying to break out the fucking lab, come on now. Like, it's not a fulfilled life. They're living in the matrix, and they might be like, well, boom boom, you know, uses their rat hips, knock everyone else out the way, they're gonna be the one get that cheddar. But right, they're gonna have their cheddar boo over here, just them and their boo, and tell all the other rats how they're so dumb because they don't get this cheddar the way that they get it, so they must be better at manifesting. Y'all, the metaphors today. Oh my gosh, full moon's coming. But in reality, they're still just as much in the matrix as everybody else. So, right? That's the vibe that a lot of you could be operating in. And I hear someone like, I know, so tell me how to get out of it. You can't come all of a sudden after the bullshit, after the hangover, the spiritual hangover of not doing the work, and then get mad and then be like, well, tell me how to do the work. Right? Tell me how to do it. Some of you need to watch the tongues, okay? Need to watch how you walk into other people's energy fields. There can just be a severe lack of compassion, but I also see a lot of you feeling like that you are the sensitive compassion one, okay? Compassionate one, and not getting it. Temperance reverse is like when people, you know what it's like? It's like when people talk to someone who speaks a different language and they talk really loud, right? Oh, okay. And it's very demeaning, but then they go away thinking they're so like, oh my gosh, you know, we talked, and then they like misterm the foreign person and stuff, and they just think that they're so great. Oh my gosh, we took our time to speak to, you know, to whoever kind of people. And it's like, no, actually that was all mad disrespectful. Like, shit, that was cringeworthy. And so some of you have this kind of cringeworthy compassion or coping mechanisms, and so that's what it is. So coping mechanisms that then can have you internally a little resentful, bitter, judgmental of others, because you feel that towards yourself internally, this microscope, right? And so you put up walls to others, you don't connect to others, you might judge what other people do for pleasure. And for instance, I'll have people come on the channel like, don't mention Beyonce, I'm trying to be woke or whatever. And I'm like, if you think you're so woke that you can't mention Beyonce without your whole like wokeness falling to pieces, then you ain't woke. Like, you coming over here barking at me being rude, then you're not as woke as you think you are. Okay. And so that's that kind of vibe. Not that we're measuring wokeness, but you know what I'm saying. When someone's coming at you, you just like, really? That's kind of the vibe. Y'all can be doing that sometimes, and that you don't even know the other person might have all of this spiritual gifts. They might have things to exchange with you. People might want to join in and connect with you. People might want to find ways to heal the world and all this kind of stuff. But you could be very terrified of others seeing the side of you when you don't give a shit. You could be terrified of others finding like mistakes in your philosophy and the way that you love, because I think a lot of you know that you haven't been having good patterns in your relationships. But it's kind of like, if you low-key, if you just keep dating kind of toxic people, then you can still be the better one without having to work on yourself. So some of you are always dating, you might be like, nah, this is about my ex, they're the one that had the da 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 da. Really? Because you're the one who drew them in, and that's the reason you're picking them, so that you can seem like you're better standing next to them. So these readings are going, I mean, look, I tell you, every time I'm like, let me just do this quick little cute reading, I swear that's every time that spirit gets me. I can be like, okay, we're gonna have this in-depth soul read, and it'll be like, okay, yeah, I mean, it was deep, but was it deep? I swear. Spirit likes to sneak up on me, and then people will be like, man, Bohemia, you just read us. I'm like, no, I thought that was a little cute read, just a little, you know, kiss, and spirit came through with something else. Okay, so your spirit led you here. And for the record, I should say this at the beginning. Never mind, maybe I'll re-record something and put it at the beginning. Okay, well, for the record then, because this is already going in. Yes, so getting out and doing more of the work, which has been a theme basically in every read so far, but this one is talking about it in these kind of terms. Okay, so let's go ahead and do your dice. You got a 4 and a 4. All right, all these 4s. Oops, I just moved it. Could be a 3. Some of you focus on third-party situations and triangulation, and again, people that are crappy, so that you can get away with not working on your shit. Point blank. Okay, there, said, done. And it's like, no, if you really were in compassion and love, one, you could not have to demonize all these people. You could move on from them and allow them to go and get their healing that they need to universally, and let it the frick go 6 years later, 3 years later, a year later. Not that you wouldn't take the wisdom from it and learn and use it as discussion points sometimes, you know, what you've learned, but the fact that you still have to obsess over this and find, like, I've seen weird stuff, like people who ended up being, you know, a negative person in my story and really on some bullshit, that still had to obsess about like a boyfriend, an ex-boyfriend's child who was too disrespectful for them and so-called ruined their entire life because they didn't, you know, that's why they still 10 years later didn't work on all this stuff in their life, you know, just like weird stuff. Humans be weird sometimes. So that's that kind of vibe. So if there's any person that you've been projecting on, talking about, you know, putting all the shade on, not saying they didn't, you know, come in real messy, they probably did, but it's saying it's definitely because you got mess that you don't want to focus on, and it's time to clear that up. How does this relate to the Matrix? Because if we're all messy, again, if we're just messy rats in the lab, how do we get out of the lab? Okay, that's the game. Checkpoint. How do we get out then of the bramble bush? Playing us like a fiddle. Okay, so 4s, that's it, is get some self-ownership. Okay, get some self-responsibility. Work on yourself. Take the feedback that other people experience when they connect with you. Okay, you picked number 4, you got 4 and 4. There's all these 4s. You want this stability, you want this control, you don't want anyone to be the boss of you, you don't want the man telling you what to do. It's like, okay, that takes responsibility. Anybody who's actually went on the front lines or lived in like in a capacity where you're living as free people, that's work. Because you got to accept that other people are free. You have to accept other people's free will. You got to stop trying to control everybody else. And so if you can't stop trying to control people, whatever excuse you're using, oh, well, I co-parent with them, oh, well, they're my soulmate, they're my twin flame. If you can't like knock it the fuck off and stop trying to control people on some level, and just feeling like this entitlement to do so, and blaming all the misery in your life on the fact that you can't control them and they won't do what you want them to do, so that's why you're miserable and not moving forward in life, then you really can't be saying you want this new paradigm and you want everyone to be free and you want all this enlightenment, because that's what enlightenment is honoring that, because letting each person be a full-fledged person. Okay, and then when that happens, we can come together. We have 2 fours, that's 2 emperors. Okay, head to head, or empress if you prefer that term, because that's why the 3 showed for a minute. They're like, whatever term, you know, works, but coming together. Okay, that's got to happen. So it's like, first get out of your own bullshit and start showing some compassion to this world and people around you. Learn how to not be the toxic person in other people's story without having to hold up and stay away from them, so that we can be those rats getting out of the rat race. Okay, this whole time I've been saying this, reading this rat metaphor, I just keep thinking of Tyler's Tarot, where he's like crazier than a shithouse rat. Okay, you guys don't want to be that shithouse rat going crazy. All right. So that's what I'm seeing for now. Okay, like I said, I could read these cards all day, man. They're channeling in. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment, and I'll talk to you again on another one. Like, dang, I can't believe how intense these are coming in. But then again, I guess Aquarius is like that. When you actually finally talk to an Aquarius, they go in, man. And it's Aquarius moon square Uranus. So there we go. For those of you that chose number 5, we have strength. I love this strength card. See, the strength is making sure to put the right amount of water that this plant needs to grow. Not overly doing it, not putting what's good for the other plants, but putting the right amount, right? Y'all know that's a dangerous game, keeping houseplants alive. We have the Sun card, fire and Leo energy here. Oh, wow, you got it with green, man. The forces of nature favor you. Okay, green thumbs. That's that Uranus and Taurus energy right now. We have the 9 of Pentacles. So we definitely can have Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo placements and Leo placements. We have the Page of Swords. Wait, I always get confused with this deck. Sorry, I was doing good and then I confused myself. So let me check the suits in this. My bad. I had to get the whole reading. No, yeah, Wands. I thought so. Okay, Page of Wands. Good. I was like, no, I think that's fire sign. So Sag, Leo, Aries. Okay. But for some, you know what, that's why they said it could be air, which is why they did that. Okay, so Gemini, Libra, Aquarius can also be here, and so all elements actually, because then we have Executive of Vials, which is the King of Cups, Scorpio definitely, Pisces or Cancer. We have worlds within worlds. Boom, boom, boom. Yes. Okay. Whew, I'm feeling better, because a lot of people were getting red. We got the Ace of Swords, the Ace of Cups reverse, and we have the 4 of Wands reverse. I think that your guys' group, not that we need points, but maybe some of y'all need points because there's fire signs and y'all want to win, or signs. This has been the chillest read. Okay, and for the record, like, I see when y'all pick an option and you don't like it, so you edit it, your thing, and comment another option. One person kept doing that, and they, like, out of 6 readings, they picked the 3 that were like correcting them and getting on them and missed all the good ones. They kept trying to like erase their comment and pick another one, and then they ended up just like not leaving a comment. And I was like, look, just take the medicine, okay? There's no judgment, but if you're trying to act like that ain't the medicine you need, then I'm like, child, if you don't come over here, take this Pepto-Bismol. Okay. So yeah, but y'all, I think y'all are doing the work. Y'all are trying. Okay, you're trying. Some of you picked this for someone else to try to sneak and look and see what's up with them. Well, guess what? It says that they're doing a pretty damn good job. They struggle sometimes. They're very emotional. They can be hot-tempered. They're trying to be more even balanced, trying to be present in the world and make change and deal with their own inner world. But they're trying. Like, they're really trying. They're out here trying. They're trying to learn how to build themselves up successfully so that they can, you know, be stable and healthy, but they're definitely trying to keep that good heart and good morals. I do see sometimes they can be a bit reckless. Look, I'm reading it like it's a cross-watcher video, but that's why I feel like a lot of you picked this for someone else. Okay, so let me change back. So for y'all, you guys are, you know, at times it's like, I feel like you just get full of like rage and anger, but it's in a good way, because you're like, if these systems aren't working, cut it down. If my house is, you know, built on the bones of someone's sacred site, move it. Like if my what I'm building is going to hurt future generations, knock it off. Let me get a new job. I feel like y'all are real ones, and you're ready to do what it takes to really make a good world and to stay heart-centered. And like, dang, you know, you want to build yourself up so that you are your own business owners. A lot of you want to do your own skills and get back to where you can choose if you want to barter. You can choose. You have the ability and the funds to give back. You have the ability to have financial freedom in your own way, so that you're not having to like be plugged into the system and these rules and all of this that is harmful to others. But again, it's in a very heart-centered way. I do feel like this group, you guys are the type that will give the shirt off your back. You'll give your home, you'll give your rent, you'll give, you know, your heart and spirit to everybody else. I think you guys very much care about the environment, what's going on in the world, you know, hashtag protect Amazonia. Like, you guys just really do care about others. You care about if people have homes. A lot of you, I feel like you would low-key use your home as a safe point for those who have been through domestic violence, those who don't have housing themselves. You know, you might work with people who are houseless, aka homeless. You might be like, you know, a safe place for migrant families, things of that nature. So I see you guys having a big heart. I think that your anger for this group is a power source for you. It's something that can be protective, because you know how to make big decisions in a heart-centered way, in a spirit-centered way, always keeping your eye on the fact that what the real world says is the goal isn't the goal. So you guys are really good at working in and out the system in the way that a jungle can take back a city, right? The jungle can go in there and reclaim the concrete jungle. You guys have this, you know, this is what it's like what other people see. You spritzing a plant. What the spirit world sees, you going, reclaiming the matrix from people who thought they were going to hijack this existence and, you know, this plane of incarnation, the jungle, fighting back against all the people trying to cut down the trees, all Ferngully style, right? That's what goes on internally for you. So this is like a big ups. This is, you know, keep going, keep, you know, don't get so hot-headed and so angry and so used to being alone that you don't listen to the input from others when they're trying to have this heart-to-heart, because sometimes you guys can be so skeptical. Like, you're looking across the table and you're like, oh nope, answered that wrong, used the wrong tone for this, you know, never mind, checking out. And it's like, no, don't be so quick to defense. This is making me really think of somebody, actually, because I know someone who has Leo with Scorpio and a ton of Virgo in their chart, and yes, they've been messaging about things going on in the world and just that beautiful heart. But yeah, you could be a little bit hard to approach for other people. You could be hard for others to collaborate. You some people you know, on Freaky Friday where she's like, fun sucker, like sometimes you can be a bit of a fun sucker sometimes. Some of you are like, you know what, just leave me with the animals and plants. Like, I don't know how to people, I don't know how to communicate with you right now. Like, this person's like putting on the gas mask, but it's like, when you have to deal with people, this is you. Like, no, I can't breathe. So it's like, you do have to learn how to be a better people person, because you're somebody who you would actually be a good leader in some ways. And I think the thing is, you don't always want that, and that's why you could be good at it, because some of the other ones were kind of a little bit more power seeking and that kind of energy. And I think for you, you're somebody, when it comes down to it, you would do the work. You would just go out there and plant 1,000 trees. You would go out there and, you know, bring families in from the cold. You would just go and do it. And so I think it's good that you protect that and that you do feel people out. I feel like some of you are low-key starting out different I don't even like using the words like charities and foundations, because it's so corrupted in so many ways, but that could be you, actually. Those could be things that you're critical of, as like wording and, you know, just things that need to change. And I think it's a good vibe, but it's like, kind of, it says the forces of nature favor you. So trust that instinct a little bit more, to let people get close to you that really want to help in a genuine way. Okay, that want to help you reclaim things. Yes, sometimes they might be feeling more angry when you're feeling emotional. They might be feeling more emotional when you're feeling angry. It doesn't mean that you guys are wrong. It could mean that you're two sides of the same coin. I do see that. I do see you guys partnering up. You could be creating your own way to give back, your own you know, community center, things of that nature. Some of you, yeah, I'm just seeing a lot of things about, I'm seeing a lot of different things. Some of you, it's nature. Some of it's housing, transitional housing of any types of sorts. It could be, you know, the jail reform, abolishing prisons. It can be so many different things that I'm seeing that people care about in this group. Stability. I'm seeing people. There's those like give fair trade things, making sure that people who do the work are getting paid for what they do, and not overly taking their resources. Like you could be like, want to do all of this. And so I think it is good that you make sure to include other people and that you're searching for people who could be good co-pilots in that, but look, it's like while you're searching for your co-pilots, that blimp on the moon back there is turned vertically, right? That's not how it's supposed to go. So make sure that you keep things even keel by not kind of crunching numbers on a person too much, to the point that you're like, oh, well, I was going to go right and you were going to go left this time, so that's wrong. And they're like, we're just playing checkers. Like, no, we're literally playing a game right now. Try to lighten up a little bit. Ace of Cups. I think you can be so exhausted. Sometimes it's hard for you to connect and kiki with people, but you still need that community vibe. Okay, you do. You still need a genuine community vibe. And some of you might have to learn to, like I always say, like people that are oppressed have some of the best humors. All right, like seriously, I love my peoples, right? You'll know that. All right, like literally when stuff gets tough and there's really negative situations, if you're on, I always talk about the front lines, but when you're out, like, actively progressively doing social justice work, oh my gosh, I love it. Y'all know Black people funny, Indigenous people funny, right? Hilarious as hell. And it's not, it's learning to laugh with humor, right? That strength, that inner strength, that resiliency, that being able to find joy. The world within the world is also keeping ourselves. So that's a big part of you fighting this matrix, is don't lose your joy, don't lose your humor, don't lose that ability to love. Some of you, it's hard to love. You want to so bad, but it's hard for you to love on a personal level because of all the greater things going on in the world. Some of you have chosen not to have children and things of that nature because of the concerns and fears in this world. It's like, don't let that turn you sour or make you feel like you're less lovable. It's good to, whatever decisions you make are valid for yourself. If you feel like, I don't want a romantic relationship because I care about the greater world enough that I want to stay focused, it's like, good, but find those connections of love that you do want and that you can have, so that you can maintain that feeling. We have to have that flow. We have to have that flow and connectivity to others. Sorry, that's witchy pup, y'all. Okay, so let's do your dice. Look, a 6 and a 2, the number 26 or 62 or 8. You have 8 a lot, could be significant, could be those Leos. We also have 36 over here, 63, 9, 18. Okay, could be significant numbers for you. So yeah, it's like, look, she said what she said. Some of you, this is your permission that it's okay as the world burns to go and find love. Maybe for some of you, you were one of the other groups that were just like, would use relationships as an excuse to distract you from the world and not go and do real things in the world, right? And some of you might be afraid, like, I don't want to be one of those people who uses my family as an excuse. Well, because of my family now, I can't go out and do things in the world because, oh well, I have to sit here and worry about taxes and property, rents and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, no, you're not going to be like that. Find somebody who's on the same path. You could be somebody who would actually find like your divine counterpart, your no, I'm not talking about going to this, jump into the twin flame thing and be all tortured. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm saying, I'm not talking about tortured paths. I'm talking about people who are ready to join together to do good works. Because when you really find the person that you're meant to be in this incarnation, especially if they're a greater soulmate for you over many incarnations, like, it can't be hid. It's going to, those two worlds will collide in a beautiful way. You can't help but be seen. And I see that two people that are ready to connect. You might decide to keep it on a partnership level just for your own feelings, because you want to stay focused and you feel like the world really needs you to go out and help heal it, and that is what works. And that's the beautiful thing, is I think the soulmate would understand that, and they will. That's what real soulmates do. They be whatever each other truly needs to be their best self, and that's some real love there. Okay, and I see that for you guys. So whether you decide to be besties and go and take on the world world and just love each other madly that way, or whether you decide to actually come into partnership, you need that fellowship. You need that fellowship with others, and you're not going to find it if you don't open up more. Or some of you already know them. You've been known who it is, and you've closed down from them. And some, it's part of it was because you were getting your stuff together, building yourself up, trying to learn how to navigate this matrix, trying to learn how to handle your emotions, the heartbreak of everything that goes on in this world, to, you know, be someone who is deserving of respect and honor, and learn how you can help the community around you, which is beautiful. But it's time to connect, you know, with this person, and to join in. And you know, I'm hearing my Lean On Me song, which has been my song since I was in the womb, that I would love and respond to. You know, we all need somebody to lean on. You just call on me, and when you need a hand, okay? So some of you are gonna have a person of whatever type of partnership that it's time to connect with, and get out there and get moving and do real things. But don't stop working on yourself in the process. That's not an excuse to sit on your hiney, but it's coming up, okay? Or it's here. Some of you already know, and that person's challenging you, and sometimes they are exactly what you need emotionally, sometimes they're not, and they're in different feelings than you, but they are a good mix for you, okay? So that's what I'm seeing for you, number 5. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment, and I'll talk to you again on another one. All right, number 6. For those of you that chose number 6. Whoo. Okay, we have the Queen of Swords, the Throne of Truth. Advice for dealing with the matrix. The King, authority and diplomacy. Oh, how dare they in the matrix reading? Okay, strength, 30. This is strength from an oracle. We have the 9 of Wands reversed. We have the 6 of Coins reversed. We have the 6 of Pentacles again. We have the Queen of Wands reversed, and we have the Queen of Pentacles reversed. Okay, so we have a lot of queens, all the queens except for the Queen of Cups. Okay, I do get that feminine rights could be a big thing. Gender rights could be a big thing for how you guys can help this matrix. Some of you still have some, and it doesn't matter what the hell your gender is, so don't come at me for it. Some of you still have some kind of internalized toxic masculinity or misogyny, things of that. Yes, so that is a big part of revamping your energy that has been picked up and programmed from being in this matrix of energy, is to be more aware of the programmed ways that you are responding to rulership, authority, dictatorship. For yourself, I think you might have started unpacking some of those things, but excuse me, when it comes to seeing individuals, particularly different types of feminine identified energy, as what they want to be their freedom. For instance, a perfect example is how all feminism isn't for everybody, right? There's a lot of feminism out there that doesn't care about Black and Indigenous women or transgender women. There's a lot of feminism that says, well, you're enlightened if you do it this way, right? You can't have hot girl summer if you're you know, for feminine equality, because you're making us look bad, or you have to be butt naked in order to be reclaiming yourself. We have strength here, which is interesting, from the oracle instead of from tarot. It has a tiger here emerging from this like eye of a galaxy from the other realms. So even when it comes to our spirits, remember, we all have hangups in our spiritual energy. These could be things that have been since you were in a kingdom way back when, and still listening to the rulership, the ownership of things from even past lives. So you're having people around you right now who are decolonizing, rebelling, reclaiming themselves in their own way as they see fit. And they might not feel like they need to toe the line politically or otherwise in order to fit in. And that could be challenging for some of you. Some of you are like, well, no, if they just did it this way, then, you know, we could move along quicker. A good example of this is people who say like, this is the way you should respond so that you don't get hurt, whether that be with police or assault or whatever. This is the way you should do it. And it's like, no, people have the right to be themselves and not be hurt within it. Are there times where we wish that being so-called smarter or making smart moves would save us? Yes, but does that always work? No, because right here we see that trauma, right? It's like having been in a war zone. Some of you, there could be some veterans, but a lot of you, it could just be the neighborhoods that we're raised in, right? PTSD is not acknowledged in marginalized communities when it is very real. Having to grow up in severity and poverty and trauma. Some of you did not grow up in that, and you haven't yet become compassionate of those who have, right? You take the dictator, the ruling class, the matrix word for what's going on. That could even be through the news. Now, you've begun this process of trying to see the truth of things, but if you're telling those communities and people in it, this is the way you should deal with your issues, this is the way you should deal with your marches, your claim for freedom, your etc, 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 it's like you don't know everything about how other people come to freedom and to colonize. And especially if you come from the class that has been oppressing them, you don't tell the oppressed how to throw off their oppressor, period. Okay, what you do is that you join in and you help, and that's basically the energy. The matrix will be maintained unless people start allowing others to get free however they need to get free. All right, is the vibe. And this is some cosmic backup coming in. People's higher selves are not going to let you skate on shrinking down their space. People who are trying to escape the matrix, they're not going to have compassion and sit there and let you come at them anymore. So be aware of that. And I think it's because your own higher self is tired of that. It's like, okay, how about you stop judging and get free yourself? Maybe if you would, you know, shake your ass and feel free to not be judged by society, you wouldn't be mad at people out here twerking, right? That's an example, but it's true, right? If we really want to be free, I mean, do you think if we were all just being free creatures on Mother Earth, we would really be mad at somebody over here twerking, having a good time? No, we would not. That's programming. That's judgment. That's bullshit. So that example plays into all the serious things in life. Okay, reclaiming culture, reclaiming people's truth. So sitting here, some of you think that you sit on this throne of truth and that your way of being woke is the way for everybody, and that's a very dangerous game to play. It can make you an adversary of people, especially if you're on that high and mighty. You come from, you know, the ruling class, the seat of privilege, right? The throne. And okay, this is where they're going with it. I've seen a lot of people that go into religion and spirituality because they're looking for another throne to sit on. They're looking for another way to be higher than other people. And if you've come to this, you need to check on that. All right, you need to check yourself on that. And some of these people were also some of the most generous, open-hearted people in certain ways, but they had that part of them that it was very hard for them not to be the number one, the best, the in control. Okay, you guys could have cardinal signs, Aries, Libra, Capricorn, Cancer in your chart. There's a lot of Taurus going on here. There's Sagittarius, there's Leo. What else do we got going on? Yes, fire signs. So we said all the fire signs, and earth signs. So we said all of them except for Virgo. Virgo could be additionally. All right, so that is something to really check in with yourself about, because again, we talked about on another option, I think a lot of people are picking more than one. Changing one hierophant, one ruler, one dictator for another is no fun, you know. And coming in and saying, well, I'm woke, so I know how to save your movement. I know how you guys should do Black Lives Matter. I know how you should, this is how you need to act. You should talk to the judge this way. Well, if you just did this, you wouldn't have got shot. All those kind of things, right? Oh, if you just presented yourself this way, then you would have a husband and be lovable. Whatever those judgments are, like, they're bullshit. It's time to let them go. That's the matrix talking. That is, you know, on a spiritual level, all of that stuff plays into the same system that cages innocent people, that abuses women, that degrades people because of different races, that puts people in enslaved mentalities because of religion. It's the same energetically. That's all part of the same game, the same vibration. So if we're really going to be woke, we can't be over here, you know, saying, acting like we're all fam, all cool, all nice, good world, sitting here on our truths and everything. But then we feel like, oh, but I still get to talk shit to you in your comments on your tarot video, and tarot readers can't say anything back because they're just being sensitive and need to hear my opinion. No, it's not about your opinion, it's about the truth. Okay. And it's about respecting other people and how they decolonize, how they grow themselves, how they cultivate their own land. And if, again, it's that energy, be an accomplice, be a support system to others in that world, or you're making yourself an adversary. And you don't want to be the adversary of free people. Okay. It's kind of like, if you don't choose the side of freeing the oppressed, you're choosing the side of the oppressor. So it is a very fine line sometimes, and it comes with our attitudes, our day-to-day judgments, our reactions to news stories, our reactions to how we see other people claiming their space and their truth. A lot of people who think that they're open-minded and compassionate and that they don't want this matrix hate to see other people free, hate to see other people stand up for truth. It gets them. If it's them doing it with their pedestal, or if they can be celebrated for it, they might go for it. But when they see other people do it, ooh, it just rubs. Who are they talking about, you know, being against racism? Who are they to do this, and that, right? Who are they to be in empowerment and to have a voice? So really watch out for that. Watch out for how you're using your voice, how you're using your platforms, ways that you are, you know, secretly, unknowingly, or just blatantly because you refuse to change and listen to people, actually aiding the negative rulers of the matrix, things of that nature. Okay, there could be some old woundedness going on. There could be a tit for tat attitude. Well, I didn't exactly have a good life, so I shouldn't have to go and do this and that. Or you know, well, I've had pains too, and no one's done anything for me. There's just this tit for tat energy, and just a very jealous energy. So getting rid of that, and working on that side of yourself, and not being around people who support that. Because the thing is, with this Queen of Swords, the throne of truth, but negatively set up by surrounding cards here, what can happen is it can be easy to go find a whole bunch of other online trolls, hecklers, shit talkers, and sit there and feel like you're the queen of the roost. Okay, gender neutral, whatever position, that you're just ruling the roost over here, right? And go up on other people's stuff, tear them down when they're trying to make changes, tear them down when they're trying to be good people. And instead of listening to when they say, no, this is wrong, this isn't the way to help us be free, this isn't a true support, here's the way to do it, here's the way to decolonize and help us, to just shut them down, talk trash, you know, all that kind of stuff. Refuse to have change, call the other people. This is what I get a lot from people who are shitty in the comments. The people who are always are the first ones to say, oh, it sounds like you're being petty, it sounds like you're starting drama. You are the petty drama starters, period. Always. That's always how it comes out. And later, if the conversation keeps going, they'll show their ass, or they'll be the ones who will message me personally something messy, or shit talk on another video. So watch for not being able to allow other people to be in power and speak back, right? Clap back when people disrespect them, when people are abusive, misogynistic, racist, whatever to them. If you have an issue with people standing up to the boss at work or whoever it is, and, you know, just girding their loins and going for it, you might be part of the oppressor. Libra energy. This reminds me of Kate Winslet, who's a triple Libra. I almost said Leo, just because she's always around Leo. Sun, moon, and rising. And when a lot of women were speaking out about, you know, the pay inequality in Hollywood, when they asked her, she was like, oh, that should be something spoken behind closed doors. People shouldn't be talking about this. Blah, blah, blah. So that was a way of shitting on other people's empowerment and actually aiding the abuse, right? That's aiding the misogynistic energy there and putting disrespect on other people's bravery and courage. So if you can't be an ally, just shut up before you make yourself an adversary. And even energetically, you're still siding with the oppressive side. And so some of you have that, well, they should toe the line. Well, they should still listen to the law. Well, they should still do this, this, and that. Instead of, no, we should tear down the laws that are abusing and hurting people. We should make true change. We should give charity that is actually what people need, not what makes us feel good. So we can say, oh, we supposedly donated money to Africa or whatever ridiculous stereotypes of the West are here. So that is the main energy in this reading. Like, listen to the actual people that you think that you're helping, because some of you are not. And you know, just work on it, because if we work on it, then fine, we can be better people. If we sit up in this bitter Queen of Swords, no, I'm right, screw you, I don't agree, it doesn't resonate, da, 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 resonate with the door, and the writing's still going to be on it. Okay, like, all right, we got a 3 and an 8. Okay, yes. And again, I'm getting that vibration of the 8. 8 is business, it's success, it's kind of trying to find continuity for continual stability. Okay, but it is an energy. I'm looking over here, and there's an 8 over here from the other reading as well. You guys might have chosen more than one reading. So some of you did get a good read, but you have, this is the shadow side of what you need to look out for in yourself. Some of you just straight up chose this. Watch out trying to pick another reading, because some of them were worse than yours, or not worse, but you know, just deeper healing than this one even. But the 8s can also be very rigid. They can have that power stroke. They can have that, okay, power is wrong unless I have it, pans to camera. Okay, watch that streak, because you have the 3 here. You have people who try to give you the chance to grow and learn. You have people that try to be forgiving and compassionate, and you don't realize how much that you're other people's charity case. You're the person that they're like, yeah, my friend can be pretty bigoted, but I'm trying to let them grow out of that. Yeah, my friend can be pretty narrow-minded and very erroneous in their beliefs, but I'm trying to be compassionate on their growth path. And y'all might be over here thinking you're all woo-woo sometimes, and you don't have a clue, because that's how it is. Sometimes we can't see our own growth until we're past it, and then we're embarrassed as hell. Like, shit, it's like looking at what you wore back in, you know, 9th grade or something. Like, dang, I was really out here like that. Oh, I thought that was so cute. Or 8th grade, you know, whatever, 3rd grade. So it's saying, you know, be aware of yourself. Listen to the feedback of the people that you think you're helping, that you think that you love, that you think adore you so much, that don't see your flaws. There are people that see your flaws. They're trying to be compassionate while you grow and while you get some strength. They might be over here praying to the gods and your higher self, like, please get it together, get it together. And so I would say spend less time with that sharp tongue and with that know-it-all attitude and with the fake humility, and just get out here and really like meet people. Like, really connect with people, really care what's going on in people's backyard, and not with, well, you should fix it this way and this is the way. I can't stand when people come up on the front lines with that, like, again, social justice movements, and they've been from some privilege, but they decided to decided I'm going to be poor and rent a hippie van and go over here, and they come with all their bullshit, all their talkity talk, telling people who really lived the life what they need to be free and how they should, just talk and looking for the accolades and all this. Like, just it's like, stop, just be real for a minute, right? Ear to the streets, listen back what people are saying. Listen when people tell you that you're coming in correctly. Listen when you're being a hater and you need to change it up. Okay, listen to the other ways that other people get free, and maybe you could learn more ways to be free yourself, because boom, there it is. The more we let others be free, the freer we are ourselves. And maybe the issue is that you're terrified of being free, and the power and the strength and the responsibility that comes down to, the healing of the wounds that you've become used to, that would release you from. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing for y'all. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment, and I'll talk to you again on another one. Bye.